Well, hey everyone, it's Marcus and welcome to more chatting in my jungle room. I'm totally thrilled heading over to the eastern states of Australia today where I'm speaking to Youngy. Youngy is, of course, from the band King Parrot. Hey Youngy, how are you?
Hey mate, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Oh no, thanks for your time because like seriously, you are one of the hottest bands around at the minute. You are busier than a beaver in a burrow. I'm not even sure. But I mean, you have been everywhere. You're touring around the world. You've just put out a great new, brand new album, and we're going to find out all about it. So, first of all, how's your day been?
My day, yeah, well, as we were just discussing off air, it's been quite cold. I'm kind of pissed that summer hasn't kicked in yet, but anyway, here we are. But no, my day's been fine. Been busy, just doing a couple interviews and working on all sorts of different stuff. Lots going on.
You say that summer hasn't kicked in, but I feel like we're still in winter. I don't think spring has even kicked in.
I know, but you know what? We were lucky. We got to spend all most of winter in America, and it was the weather over there was brilliant. We had a great summer in America. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, your 2025 has been crazy. So let's talk about the two. No, let's talk about the new album first. A Young Person's Guide to King Parrot came out in 2025, of course. Been received amazingly. There's some incredible tracks on that album, incredible. How chuffed are you with the album and how it's been received and being able to perform it live around the world?
Yeah, I mean, it's been received really well. It's been awesome. We approached the recording process a little differently than what we've done previously, which was good. We took a lot more time in the studio. We mapped everything out. It was a bit more of a sort of more modern approach, I guess, to what we'd previously done, which was we'd previously just get in the room and kind of bash it out live and then do a few overdubs here and there. But this time we really mapped everything out, click tracks and all that stuff. So that was something that we haven't really done before, and I think you can hear that in the final production of the record. It was interesting doing it that way and then trying to keep the ferocity of our music. We're a very aggressive sounding band, and it was interesting trying to keep that off kilter kind of energy, but have it a little bit more polished. And I feel like the finished product really captured that sort of live nasty essence that we have as a band, but just made it bigger and tighter. So I was really happy with how it turned out.
You formed in 2010 as the band King Parrot, have had four albums, obviously kicking off with 2012's Bite Your Head Off, and then Dead Set, Ugly Produce, and then, of course, the one that we've just been speaking about. How do you think, so this is 15 years in now, how do you think your sound or, your stage presence has evolved and developed over those 15 years?
Well, the sound itself is we've kind of been lucky in the sense that when we started, we kind of we did our first EP 2011, and we kind of established our sound then, and straight off the bat we went, oh well, we sound like our own band. Like, we don't sound like some other band. We don't sound like we're trying to find our identity. We kind of just had an identity from the start, which was kind of a bizarre thing to stumble on so early. But we were able to sort of develop what we do because we had that sound. Found that we could kind of dip into grindcore, we could dip into thrash metal, we could pull some rock and roll shit out, we could do doomy bits if we wanted to and pull it in there, because we had this sort of dynamic between the drums and the guitars, and then my vocal style, which was obviously a little bit off center. And it sort of just gave us this platform to be able to sort of do what we do and incorporate lots of different elements. So I feel like we've always been in that sort of extreme realm. It's always been primarily kind of grindcore, death metal, thrash metal, and hardcore punk kind of stuff. But then there's always extra elements in there, like these rock and roll and punk rock elements in there as well, that kind of give us that sort of rough around the edges feel. We're certainly not a technical death metal band, or we're not like your typical extreme metal sounding band. It's always had this difference, and it's a little bit of Australiana about it as well, especially with all the stupid song titles.
Which we love and which we ache for. There's an incredible sense of irony in a lot of your music, which we lap up, like I said. But hey, I mean, obviously, as a band, there's a lot of inspiration that you take note on that makes your unique sounds. But going back to your personal early days, who were you listening to? Who were you getting inspired by to lead you into the music industry back then?
Well, I mean, that's a big question, of course, but I guess some of the initial inspiration for me to get into music was, a lot of the metal stuff, a lot of the bands that we've actually toured with, now we've now toured with, like getting into it. Like, I mean, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, all that stuff, of course. And then a band like Pantera was pretty pivotal for me, around that sort of early teenage years. And then there's obviously Slayer, Sepultura, Metallica, all that stuff. But then I kind of went right off the deep end into the more extreme stuff as well. So I got into all the black metal stuff, the death metal, obscure underground stuff as well. That's what I've always been into. I've been a huge fan of trying to, find and unearth bands and explore scenes and little cliques that might happen in certain cities and things like that. So I've always been into exploring that and collecting vinyl and all of that stuff. So I've always been interested in the more underground kind of music, as well as being influenced by the stuff that, most metalheads know and love,
You just said collecting vinyl, which I'm a massive fan of as well. Like my collection out in the other room is like vast. Have you got one prized piece that if you had to run out the house in a flash, is there one bit of vinyl that you would be like, yes, that needs to come with me now?
Well, I would probably, yeah. It's hard to, it's really, there's not just one, but like I inherited a lot of the old, like original pressing AC/DC stuff off my old man. And I've collected some extra stuff of that, and Sabbath stuff. I've got a lot of the old stuff. I've got a lot of old Beatles stuff as well.
Yeah, man.
And I one of the Kinks are one of my favorite bands of all time. And that's maybe weird hearing that from someone like me, but I love the Kinks, and I have this amazing box set of their album, The Village Green Preservation Society, which I really love and treasure. But it's a newer item. It's not an old item, but it's a really, really cool box set that I love. Then I've got so much obscure, weird shit, man, that I like that I love. But it's like I don't know if I could just. Maybe I would just burn in the house. If the house was burning down, maybe I would just stay with the record.
Me too. My whole life is about my plants and my album collection. So yeah, it's like I'm going with it. I'm going down.
Yeah, right.
Hey, surprise us, all right? Surprise us. Because, obviously being an artist, a musician, music spans so many different genres. Outside of your specific genre that you like to dabble in and play in and produce in, what's an artist that you follow or admire that might surprise us outside of your realm?
Well, I think I just said one, the Kinks, of course. The quintessential British mod band. But wow, what else is there? Like, what else am I getting into lately? Let me have a look at my Apple Music. I listen. I'm always listening to something crazy. I've been listening to Nunchuck Superfly, Testament. I've been listening to a band called Danava, which are a kind of obscure band from I think they're from Portland, Oregon. I've been listening to the Dead Boys a little bit, Blue Cheetah. Stooges. I've been listening to. I don't know if you listen to Dax Riggs. Dax is a singer from Acid Bath,
Yep.
and he's got this new solo record that he put out, and I cannot stop listening to that. It's unbelievably good. He's an amazing vocalist, and I was lucky enough to meet him. We supported Acid Bath in New York a couple months ago, and I was lucky enough to meet him. And I kind of met him, and I was like fanboying out really hard, and I was just like, "Hey, hey, I'm Dax." Yeah, he's not a very talkative, sociable guy, but I got to meet him at least anyway, and share the stage with him.
I like that. You know what? You can always tell somebody by their Spotify. And you know what? Full disclosure, you showed me yours. I'm going to show you mine. Right now, I'm
Okay.
listening to Rodriguez
Oh
playing
yeah.
um freaking insane. Hey, so I mean, you've shared the stage with so many big names that are
Right.
obviously honored to share the stage with you guys as well. But who is somebody that's blown you away and that you've actually got a little bit starstruck by?
Oh, there's probably a few, you know. I mean, well, like, yeah, Dax Riggs was one of them, absolutely. Uh, I mean, we just did this huge tour with Pantera and Amon Amarth in the US, which was, it's kind of weird to be in that, like in a world like that for a couple of months.
Yep.
Because you're just sort of walking around, and Zach Wild's walking past, and Phil Anselmo's walking past, and Rex Brown's there, and Charlie Benante from Anthrax is walking around. Then you got all the dudes from Amon Amarth, and then all of the friends and people that come and want to hang out at the shows. And so you're getting introduced to all of these people that you grew up kind of idolizing, and it's kind of surreal to have those experiences. But I mean, I met Max Cavalera a long time ago from Sepultura and Soulfly and Nailbomb and all of that. And when I first met him, it was kind of crazy. I think we met at Soundwave many years ago, like 10 years ago or something. And then we went to America and we played out in Phoenix. And I'd been talking with Max, and he was asking me to do a guest vocal on the new Soulfly album. And we started talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. And then we were in Phoenix, and he brought all these kids, the whole tribe came out to the show, and we put him on the guest list. And Max is like, hey Matt, come with me, come out to my car, I want to show you the song, and we're gonna do it together. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so me and Max are in the car, and he's just cranked this song, and he's singing it for me in the car, and it's just me and Max in the car together. And he's like, I've written the lyrics for you, and gave me a handwritten sheet of the lyrics. And he's like, so tomorrow when you go to LA, can you go to the studio and record your vocals? This is your verse. I want you to write the verse and go and record it tomorrow. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Freaking bonkers, Youngy.
Yeah, it was so crazy. And I was like, all right, cool, man, fucking cool. All right, I'll do my best. So, and we drove after the show in Phoenix, we drove overnight, and we went to LA, and we drove to the producer's place. And I got to remember what his name is, because he's an amazing producer, and he's sorry, I know I'm in the middle googling something in the middle of a interview here, but his name's Matt Hyde. Sorry, I just wanted to remember that I got his name right. His name's Matt Hyde, an awesome producer, Grammy-winning producer. We walk into Matt Hyde's home studio, and the dude from the Deftones is there tracking guitars for their new record, and we're like, we kicked him out of the studio, and I went in to do my vocal part for the Soulfly record. And man, it's just a crazy experience, you know, and
you know
very,
what?
very cool.
Life is for living, Youngy, right? Get out there, do it on the edge, and give it all you've got. Speaking of giving it all you've got, anyone that's ever seen any YouTube clips of you guys performing live, anyone that's actually experienced you live in person, knows that you guys give everything plus more on stage. Your energy level is through the roof. How they keep the roof on those venues, I've got no freaking idea. You know what? Their insurance policy must be really good. However, my point to that is that how do you, night after performing with those energy levels that you guys put out on stage, how do you keep it up? Like, how do you recharge after a big, big show?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, like on that last tour, we just did like 45 shows, man, and it was hard. It was pretty grueling to be able to continually front up every night and put in that same level of intensity. But I guess when you love doing it, it's kind of makes it easier.
Mm,
Um, but I'm a clean and sober dude. I have been for 14 years, so that also helps. I don't smoke cigarettes, so that also helps. I drink shitloads of water.
yeah.
In the mornings I'll try and go to the gym and do a workout, and then we'll go to the show and stuff like that. Try and walk around. I try and keep my head in the right space. I make a lot of phone calls during the day to people back home and touch base and make sure that everything's make sure that I'm mentally okay. And then when it comes to the show, I mean, we always like if we're the opening band, like when we did the Pantera and Amon Amarth stuff, we were like the opening band, so we're performing at like 7:30, and then we'll have dinner after that, and then we'll go, maybe catch a bit of Amon Amarth, have dinner, and then watch Pantera, and then by that time you've kind of calmed down. But then we also did we did 20 something shows with them, but then we also did 25 club shows. So on those shows, we're getting on stage at like 10 o'clock at night or 10:30 at night, and we're playing for an hour and a half or whatever, and you're buzzing more. You're probably putting more energy into that because it goes for longer. And then I always find that it takes me at least 2 or 3 hours to calm the farm after a show like that. So I'll sit up on the bus and talk shit and maybe call someone or hang out with the guys, and we'll stop off at a gas station somewhere and eat some shit food probably and have some ice cream or something, and just chill out and try and get some good rest. That's the main thing. It's can be difficult when you're in those American tour buses where you got in the bunks and stuff and you're bouncing down the highway. It feels like you don't really get a good, proper, solid night's sleep, but you just got to make do and make the best of it, So
Exactly.
we're just honored that we get the opportunity to actually do that shit, It's crazy.
For a Melbourne-based bands to be doing what you guys are doing around the world, it's just phenomenal. And so, credit to you guys and your insane talent. Hey, let's talk about the current tour. Obviously, this is now part two that is about to begin. Part one has occurred already, which went
Mhm.
through October. Now part two is about to begin, which kicks off November the 21st, which is not far away, a week away, which
Mhm.
kicks off in Perth. Then it comes to Adelaide on the 22nd of November, and that is going to be at the Uni Bar. I love the Uni Bar.
Mhm.
It's going to be great. I'm going to catch up with you there, definitely. And
Awesome.
then you go to Ballarat, Albury, and then fingers crossed by that point, you can sit back and relax into the Christmas season with your family and friends. Fingers crossed.
All
Um,
right.
so, the tour, how's it all been going so far? The one in Australia, good?
Yeah. Well, we did. So we actually did part one in June, like May and June, and into July, kind of. And we did like mostly the East Coast. We didn't do Brisbane, but we did far North Queensland, and we did like 11 shows, I think, as part of that. We did New South Wales. We did some stuff in Victoria. We did far North Queensland, and then this part two, we wanted to get up to Brisbane and do Sunny Coast, Brisbane, and Gold Coast. We obviously want to come over and do Perth and Adelaide. And then there's a couple of regional shows here in Victoria that we wanted to do. And we've got a great, all ages show to finish it off in Melbourne. So we've just kind of, because we've been away so much, like we did Europe earlier in the year for like 6 weeks. And then we did the US for 7.5 weeks or something like that. We kind of spaced out our Aussie shows, kept them on the weekends, and just be able to go out, do the shows, come home, go to work and do what we got to do, and make sure that we're not just away all the time. We don't like it's. We've been around a while. We're getting older. There's kids and stuff that we got to look after and things like that. So we don't want to be away all the time, of course. But obviously we've got to promote our new record too. So yeah, we just thought that was a cool way to do it. So the reception's been awesome. The new album's been received really, really well.
Yes.
Show's been sick, and yeah, we can't wait to get to Adelaide and Perth next week. It's going to be awesome. Like two of our, probably most well received places in Australia that we get to. So yeah.
You guys are bonkers and a bit, and I can't get enough of you guys and your music. So obviously my last question for you, going into 2026, after a bit of somewhat of a Christmas break for you, are you going to just sit and relax on the music that you've created, or are you already straight into creating the new music for another album?
Oh yeah, we've started already. Yeah, we wrote one new song like maybe a week ago.
Yeah, wow.
And yeah, we've started on that process already. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll get these shows done. We'll have maybe a little break over the summer, but we will still do a little bit of work. Because we just like to we love doing it, man. We just love jamming and writing music. So there's no like real. I mean, sure, you've got to have a little break here and there or whatever, and but we love doing it, man. We just love doing it. We're all been friends for a long time, so yeah. And then we're playing a festival called Flipping the Bird down in Frankston,
Yeah.
which is a really great festival. And yeah, we'll have some more touring stuff come up. Nothing's been announced yet, but we'll have some more touring stuff coming up next year as well. And we'll continue sort of writing as we go along.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we want to get some shit written, and we want to do another record as soon as we can. Obviously, the whole COVID thing threw a spanner in the works for everyone, and us
Everyone.
included.
Yep.
And so we just want to get back to being creative, being busy, and doing what we love doing.
And like you say, when there's kids involved, there's 16th birthday parties, there's 18th birthday party, there's 21st, there's weddings, there's like crazy. So someone's got to pay for all that shit.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Keep on working. Keep on working.
Yeah,
Plus,
man.
the benefit is all your fans get to experience more and more music. So we thank you for everything that you guys do for the music industry.
No, thank you for your support, man. We appreciate you.
Youngy from King Parrot. The rest of the tour kicks off of the 21st, like we said, of November in Perth, wraps up on the, where are we? 6th of December in Albury. Get onto the tickets, everyone. I'll put the link in the post. But Youngy, what an absolute pleasure chatting to you. And I wish you all the best and much more success.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your support. Really grateful. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. And we'll speak soon. Okay, bye.